Hi, everybody. It's time for Healing with the Blues. Healing with the Blues. I need relief right now, so I'm healing with the blues. The pain is real right now. There is no good excuse. So I'll be healing with the blues. Blues is a healer. You and I both know that. So I want to remind you that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel disappointed. There's a lot of people feeling disappointed over the last week and knowing that there may be more to come. So I want to talk with you today about getting in connection with source energy, because how do you combat that feeling of despair? How do you combat grief anyway? It's getting into connection with source energy. That is a huge part of it. So, how do we get into connection with source? Well, let's do something right now. Let's put our hands on our heart and take a deep breath and just put attention on that heart chakra, on that heart energy, allowing it to open. Putting attention there and repeating to yourself or out loud if you'd like, I am connected with source energy. The energy of creation is within me and around me. I have that energy, source energy, in every cell, every molecule, and every atom, and all the space in between. And I am connected to source at all times. You know, it feels like a lot of the time that we don't have that connection because we haven't put any attention on it. But when you just do something simple like putting your hand on your heart and asking to be in connection with source, or declaring that you are and claiming that energy for your own, it's okay to do that. You can do that. You can have great success doing that. And the more that you're in connection with source energy, the more you're in connection with wisdom, because it's all in there. One of the things that I do with clients when I'm working with them is we have them talk to their wise elder self. We have them have a conversation with their inner child, their younger self, the one that needs to hear some compassionate words. And the thing that I hear the most that people say to their childlike self, their 5-year-old self, is it's okay. The most comforting thing that they think of to tell that little child is it's okay. It's okay. Now, why do you think it's not something more more joyful? Because so many people would say something like, what's the most compassionate thing you can say? I'm here for you. I've got you. You're safe. I'm going to look out for you. It's okay. Because when you're in a situation where you feel like you're in survival mode, it's really hard to think of things to be thankful and joyful about. Right? And I've talked about that before, but look at what's going on in the world. You can look at all the negative things, but you can also send energy to those things that are negative. It's not about blame. Most people would like to blame the perpetrator and blame everything about that, but really the blame part doesn't really do that person any good. So when we're talking about blame, there's a rainbow. When we're talking about blame, it doesn't really move the conversation forward. And in my belief system, I'm called to forgive. So what if we could forgive instead of blame? What if we could forgive? Because you can see what happens to a person when they're forgiven for something that they're holding against themselves too, is it really helps heal them to be able to forgive. It's really important to be able to forgive. So how do you do that? Well, one of the ways that we can do that is through automatic writing. I don't know if you've ever heard of automatic writing, but it's when you go into meditation, you let yourself calm down, you let yourself center down, Let go of all the list making and all the have tos and the to dos and things that you want to do or that you forgot, or all of that mind stuff that wants to run around in a flurry. And you let that quiet down. So meditation is great for that. And I suggest 4 count breathing meditation because it really helps put you into rest, digest, and heal mode, where more of your sage self, the smart you, the one that's wise, can come through. And you get a piece of paper and you write at the top of the page, what do I need to know today? And just whatever comes out, let it happen. Let it write itself. You'll be surprised at what comes through. And you can think of this as you having this conversation with Source. So how do we get into connection with Source? Put our hands on our hearts, take some deep breaths, let your mind relax, doing deep breathing, and then write down, what do I need to know today? And see what comes out. You can also write these 4 questions. I'm going to give you the 4 questions. And this is something that we do when we're in meditation as well. So question number 1 is, when did this feeling start? If I'm having a feeling about something, when did this feeling start? That this is a way for you to get to the heart of what's going on. And we do this in the office too with people when we're doing healing. Question number 2, what do I get out of this? Now, this is partially you asking the question, if I'm having a negative feeling, what's the benefit of me having this feeling? How am I benefiting from this? What's in this for me, right? So this can be a really good reason. What are you getting out of this? Or it can also be like just an ego type of reason. Well, I'm getting a lot of attention because I don't feel well. And I've had this feeling for a long time. Or it's like the cemetery where you go to the gravesite and the headstone says, see, I told you I was sick. I told you I wasn't feeling well. You want to make sure that you're looking at this. When did this feeling start? When did I really start having this feeling? Maybe it's feeling safe. When did I start not feeling safe? And what do I get out of this? Like, are you using your victimization to get stuff, to get attention, to get people to do things for you? Can you see that might be a way that you're using it for you to get what you need? And that's okay. It's good to recognize those things. Here's the 3rd question. Oops, 3. What am I learning? What am I learning? I've got it there. What am I learning from this experience? If you look at everything as if it's happening for you and not to you, you'll get a lot more information. You'll get a lot more gifts out of the situation. So a lot of times people say, well, oh, it's a terrible tragedy. But if you look at everything that happens as a tragedy, you won't be able to get anything out of it. So what can I learn from this experience? Generally, that's a more loving, higher self kind of answer. So it's not, what am I getting out of this? Well, I know who I don't trust. That's not what I'm talking about. What am I getting out of this? I'm learning how I can overcome. I'm learning how I can change my perspective so that I can find what's joyful or what's good about this. So what am I learning? Higher self is going to tell you that. So tune into higher self. And question number 4, what does the Creator want me to learn? And this is a really beautiful answer that's coming directly from the source of all that is. So when you get used to asking these questions, you can actually ask more. Well, tell me more about that. How does this work for me? What does the Creator want me to know? Generally, those kinds of questions of what the Creator wants you to learn is, how you're an infinite being, how much love there is for you, how you can overcome all of these things that allow you to become more of the invincible experience of unconditional love that you really are, if you look at it that way. So you can look at all the things that are coming up and feel really doom and gloom, but you don't have to. You can actually use this as a learning tool to help you learn more. Well, so one of the things that happens is I talk to people about the election, and there's a lot of people that are very dissatisfied, and there's people that are really, really scared about what's going to happen. And we have to remember that our energy toward these things is important. So get out of worry, first of all, because that's not helpful at all to you, especially to you or anybody else, to worry. Do actions. Actions will take you out of the worry. So if you feel like, well, I need to get more people organized, then join an organization that is doing the work that you would like to have done. Do something that puts you in a group of people that are like minded moving forward. And make sure that you don't over volunteer, because you want to have energy for yourself. The way that you want to do this is to sit quietly, right at the top of the page, and then ask these questions. When did this feeling start? What do I get out of this? What am I learning? And what does the Creator want me to learn? It's a beautiful way of exploring your feelings and what's happening with you. If you haven't watched it or listened to it yet, go to the last one, the last live that I did called The Big Picture. It's a meditation about healing yourself and also healing the world. And it's going to help take you out of all the minutia. And listen, take a media fast. Don't watch the news for a couple of weeks and see how you feel, because there's always going to be bad news. And, the motto of newspapers and media is, if it bleeds, it leads. So they put the really gripping things first so that you will pay attention, because people would rather do that than think about how beautiful things are. Not much news there. So I'm going to pull a card from the Life Purpose Oracle deck. This is a beautiful deck by Doreen Virtue, who is a Unity Minister. And let's see what we get today. Yoga. Yeah. How about that? Taking action. Your life is enhanced by yoga, stretching, and exercising. Remember what I said about taking action. You don't have to do a full yoga retreat or anything like that. Just do some yin yoga. 20 minutes of yin yoga. I highly recommend Boho Beautiful on YouTube. They have beautiful yoga, yin yoga, which is very slow, and also you hold positions for a couple of minutes. So it gives you time to really deepen into that. And doing those things really helps you to move out of your small mind and go into the big picture. So that's my help for you today. And I hope that you experience some joy in your life and know that there's always healing available. Put your hand on your heart and call it into being. Thank you so much. Many blessings. Have a great week.